أهلا بكم من جديد مشاهدينا الكرام. ربما النموذج الحي على نجاعة الحكامة الرشيدة هي رواندا، إحدى التجارب المضيئة وضيف شرف على القمة العالمية للحكومات. جميل أن نقطع جزءا ولو يسيرا من وقت باني رواندا الحديثة الرئيس بول كاغامي الذي حلق عاليا بعنقاء القارة السمراء. من الإبادة إلى الريادة كان لي حوار مع الرئيس الرواندي بول كاغامي لنتابعه معا. Thank you, Mr. President, for accepting our interview. President Kagame, we are in a World Government Summit. Around 4,000 decision makers from all over 140 countries. It's the 7th, actually, World Government Summit. How can we shape the future of the planet starting from this World Government Summit?
Well, the fact of having a World Government Summit is a good beginning. It brings people together, people of different disciplines, from government, from businesses, and philanthropy, and many other things. So putting these people together in one room and having a conversation of people expressing their ideas and their visions and where they want to take their different institutions they serve or countries is a very good thing already. So the next is to put together those ideas that have been expressed and put forward, see the best way to implement that to get to the point where people want to be. So I think the fact of the existence of a government summit like this one is very impressive. Do
you want people from those countries that are gathered here for 3 days to get inspired from Rwanda experience, for example? And what would you see as opportunities as well in this summit?
Yes, when we tell the story of Rwanda, where we have come from and where we are and where we want to be, we are just telling people that for where we have made good progress and given our history, given the low level we have come from, I think the others in the room who are listening to that, who may have been in the same situation as Rwanda's or are related with the situations where the levels are like Rwanda's, they get a sense that after all, some of the things that have to be done for people to make progress are doable. There is always going to be hope for success, for progress, when you hear a story like...
do you think people in the Middle East in general, in the Gulf country, they see the opportunities in Africa and in Rwanda nowadays? Do you see they are very interested now?
They are very interested, but like anything else, you feel not enough is being done, yet enough could be done. And I'm saying this referring to both sides. Even we in Africa, or in Rwanda particularly, we always feel we could do better. There are more things to do, there are things we can do better, and we need to exactly do that. At the same time, those investing with us, those who could find what to do that benefits us, that benefits them, still could do better. There is more both sides can do together to actually make a good future for us.
President Kagame, you handed over the leadership of the African Union to the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. In what shape did you leave Africa?
I think together with African leaders and institutions, we've made good progress in just 1 year. 1 year is not a long time. It's really very short. You don't do too much. You don't do much. So, but in any case, I think we've brought together the Africans around the African Continental Free Trade Area. We have had one air transport market, and we have, in a sense, set the stage for free movement of goods and services across our continent. We have brought the understanding, at least the beginning, a good start of the reforms that have to be carried out across the continent, and much as I will continue to follow up that, aside the chairmanship, which I have handed over to the chairmanship of the African Union, which I have handed over to the Egyptian president, Sisi. So we think, therefore, something has been done, but more is going to be done in this year under the chairmanship of President of Egypt, and continue forward. I think something decent is in place.
About this year, I read that you concluded the most consequential, actually, presidency of the African Union with a very ambitious agenda. Let me be frank. What have you done that and accomplished that you are happy about, and what you couldn't, because of the time limit, for example, you couldn't accomplish?
Mm-hmm. When I refer to the reform process, where we are trying to set Africa on a different path of doing things, where we can be effective, where we can be more efficient, where we can have more integration, more people working together. I think that has made significant progress, but there was more to do in that direction, and we needed more time, but somebody else will continue that.
Yeah. I cannot talk with you without talking about Rwanda. Rwanda has been through wars, genocide. It has very few natural resources. But after a few decades with your leadership, you overcame all that, and it's one of the best, most developed African country, and even in the world, it's a great example. How did you do that?
We tried everything possible that we knew how, and did others as experiment, because in the development path of Rwanda, there was no rule book given exactly the history you talked about, where we started from. But we have always been keen and eager to try everything possible to make a difference, and we succeeded by bringing people together. That's much as we lack a lot in terms of natural resources, but we are happy to be and proud to have our people who are the first and main asset and resource of our country. So they are hardworking, we have invested in education, in their health, and they are ready to go, do whatever they can for themselves, but most importantly together. That's how we have really made strides where even people didn't expect us to.
You chair the Smart Africa, I like the name actually, Smart Africa meetings. Mm-hmm. It's a big alliance with many companies, private sector, and countries and states. Yes. What do you dream? What of the future of Africa and Rwanda, of course? What is your aim to change in that continent that has a lot of potential?
Yes. When you see the biggest component of the future economy is going to be data, it's going to be digital, and digitalization is the way forward for many things. It's not the only thing, because digitalization also builds on knowledge, it builds on infrastructure, depends on many things that we have to do. So Smart Africa was intended to bring this awareness to the whole continent and encourage that public sector necessarily has to work with the private sectors for the continent to make good progress. And if we invest in knowledge institutions and be able to build on technology that can provide efficiencies, many things. In fact, with digitalization and with the technology, you have businesses getting better, you have public services getting better, you have everyone, and the future is clear. We can't again be bypassed by many revolutions that have taken place in the world, meaning Africa shouldn't be left behind again. So, and we have an opportunity to leapfrog and be where others are.
President Kagame, you are an optimist.
Well, I am, and I have no apologies for that. I want to be an apologist, I mean an optimist, and
ambitious.
There are reasons for that, for being optimistic. And
with this optimistic note, I want to thank you very much. I know I took from your busy schedule like few minutes. Thank you very much for this interview, President Kagame.
Very much
thank you.
That.
Thank you very much.
You.
كان هذا الحوار إذن مع الرئيس الرواندي بول كاغامي ضمن فعاليات وتظاهرات القمة العالمية للحكومات. بعد الفاصل لقاء خاطف مع أحد طلاب الجامعة الفائزة بتحدي الجامعات أيضا ضمن فعاليات المتنوعة والعديدة لهذه القمة. ابقوا معنا.